Alright, so today I'm going to try to finish this up or get very close to finishing it up. I have like 2 or 3 illustrations I'm planning on working on next. I might work on them simultaneously and just sort of like swap through them as I get to points where I get like frustrated or stuck on the piece. I'll open those up in a bit. But for now, the first thing I want to do is adjust the color of this orange. Wasn't thinking about it at the time, but I realized it's just way too bright for what we're working with here. Where'd my figure go? There we go. Pop a new layer up there. Oop. Oh yeah, we can just do it this way. Layer. Let's do a curves layer. As one option. Layer, duplicate layer. Got a little stampy from the brush there that I didn't notice till I did that. I'll have to go clean that up. I don't think that's going to be the answer. So I'll save that mask up there. Drag this mask down here. So to play with the curves just a bit. Make sure we clip it to the right layer. That's feeling pretty decent. That's what I want to do. Let's tone this down just a hair. Actually, I think it needs to be, yeah, that level of saturation is probably where we want it to be. Just so it reads correctly. Like, this was just too dominant because of like the really bright nature of like color that was sort of drawing the eye. So let's go up here. Let's see what happens if we yeah, see, it just draws the eye too much, and when we do this, it sort of pushes it way back, which is sort of what I was going for. And let's see. And when we apply our filters at the end of it, it's going to pull all those things up. I just need it to be right in this instance before we go do that. Let's go check out the colors too. Oop. Yeah, even like luminosity, it's sort of reading correctly. We can even kind of see the sower there. Because that's like the grayest of all the gray things. Okay. So let's pop our vector smart object off there. And now what I need to work on are the trees and these sort of like telephone poles. And I don't think this tree over here is cutting it. Let's go to a foliage. See what happens if we just take this out. It's kind of a problem. Maybe we just need to make it a little bit bigger. gonna delete it. Oop, not the whole layer. I'm just gonna delete this tree out. It's not doing it for me. I don't think it's contributing much to the overall piece. And I think in the spirit of getting things wrapped up, yeah, let's do the telephones first. I can always work on the bird later. So I've done a lot of like the heavier thinking art today, trying to paint the figure. Not sure I got it correct, but it's pretty good. So we'll leave it as is. Do I need a reference? It's the layer that we need, and poles. Pop in some lines there. And I'm going to try the stroke trick again. Edit. Maybe you need to select it. We'll find out if that's the trick. Edit, stroke. I really don't like working with the stuff in Illustrator, but we'll have to do it anyway. Info panel. Oh, nope, that's not it. Properties? Nope. Where's properties? There we go. Not working out according to plan. What it should be doing, since I'm on this layer, is bringing up the properties for this, but it's not. I think it's because I'm in the painting tool in Photoshop, which is just not great. We'll delete that later. Let's use it as a guide. I swear there has to be a way to stroke this. Oh, I know what I can do. Go back to our pen tool here. This is like the silly way to do it, but it's a way to do it. There we go. Go to our brush settings here. Do that one. 3 pixels is totally cool. We'll go back to our pen tool. Right click here. Stroke path. And let's delete our path and see what happens. Alright, it's a little bit cleaner than before. So, which is good. We don't want it all to show. It's not going to be this bright either. I kind of think it's going to disappear more in this shadow area just because there's less light going to be hitting it. All right. Now we just need to do this a couple more times, and I think we're set. And then I'll do like an overlay layer to get some of the right color down instead of having that be like a bright white. Find with like getting like these really long curves in such a big piece is going to be super tough, so I figured I might as well save myself some headache and do it with that tool, just because it's going to save a lot of time and trouble. We'll really only be seeing like these telephone wires where they're like getting hit by like super bright light. So where there's like imperfections in the line, or it's just angled just right to pick up the light. I was doing that on the wrong layer. Merge that down. We'll do one more set of a line. Back to this tool, pen tool. Let's grab those points, take them out, and do the eraser trick again. I'll merge that down, a layer on top of it, and with this we're just going to apply some color. Basically all I'm doing is changing it to more of like a highlight, so we're getting some of that like sky color. So that cloud color there is just all I'm using for that. Then back here, on these areas here, I'm going to use more of like a blue color, right? Or we're picking up more a little bit of a sky. Oh, not too much, just trying to finish this piece up. Darken this up just a bit. So like today at work I painted the figure mostly just because no I haven't. Like I was just too like exhausted and tired to get them done this week. Just a little bit easier to like pick up this piece and start working on it. So that's mostly what I've been doing. That's also why I wasn't really posting a lot of them, just because I wasn't going to make it every week. Kind of figured. But I could do one tonight. What's today's? Or I might do one of them I missed. What day is it? 15th. Helmet. I'm not really in the mood to do a helmet. Yeah, I was kind of thinking about like getting back into it today. But yeah, like I started feeling better basically once it started raining this week, and I got some like extra sleep and stuff because of that. So kind of just enjoying that for now. But I did, while we're at it, books, sower. I really need to organize these files a little bit better. I think these are in chapter 2, even though it's not really chapter 2. We're working on a color comp for this one too, based on the Inktober sketch. So I'll do some like spooky little raven things. I'm feeling this one the most out of like all the sketches I've come up with lately, so I think this is for sure going to be my next piece. Just because it's the one I'm most excited to work on. And it'll make these little birds here make a little bit more sense if I have some like infected, corrupted birds and other illustrations. So I was mostly doing it just to help me come up with ideas for the book, and it really panned out that way. So kind of glad I did. So I think, even though these poles are super basic, they're not important, so I'm gonna leave them like that level of detail. Pretty happy with the road in the background there. We just need to go in and add tiny figures. I think the thing that's bothering me the most are these trees and the grass in here. Like we need to add some more stuff and put like another layer in front of the figure. That way it's more clear the figure standing in grass. We need to paint that tree a little bit better too. So let's go to the ground goop. That's why that's highlighted. The rail, background figures, dust replacement stuff. Don't need that layer anymore. Don't need that layer anymore. That's a pretty good reference there. Oh yeah, that's the problem with it, is if like you're not used to doing that much work, it doesn't make sense. It's just better to find a balance. And that's why I was keeping my Inktober stuff super sketchy and just like dropping it after half an hour if I wasn't feeling it. Where'd my foliage layer go? It's green, and I can't find it. It's probably in the real foreground layer. Yep, there we go. Yeah, I'm just gonna erase everything I don't like out of this layer and start over. Because I think this tree over here is the only one that's like doing anything for me at all. So I think let's start by painting some grass in front of this figure. Tallstow grass. Just sort of like lay in some of this before I get too much farther. Like, I think if it was like more like a landscape sketch a day, I could totally get one of those done. Just not Inktober as like inking practice, right? Because it's just so something I'm so unfamiliar with, and it's not something I want to like work on either. Which just makes it that much more tiring to get done, at least in my experience. No, this one is going to be the promotional image for it. It's not in the right aspect ratio for the cover of the book. The cover of the book is going to be... I'm basically going to come up with a rough idea, but I'll come up with options on the Kickstarter, and if we get a certain stretch goal, we'll make a new illustration for the cover. Otherwise, I'll use one of the other, like, more vertical interior illustrations for the cover. Or whatever fits best. What was I doing here? Oh yeah, I was gonna pull up some reference. It's like, I'm set this one up to be like banner sized so that when I turn this on, I can use it as the banner for my website and Patreon and a bunch of other stuff instead of using the one that's not gonna go into the book. Because right now I'm using the like jellyfish and the snowy giant jellyfish one, and that's not really book related. Just a sec here, photos. Yeah, I was gonna like market it mostly through Kickstarter. There's a part of me that's realized that I'm not particularly good at it, so I might try selling it to a publisher too. I'm not really sure. I definitely need to get some writing done if I'm gonna pitch it to a publisher though. And I need to make sure I can still sell it at conventions. Because I think my biggest push is gonna be like at conventions next year and the year after. Because that's where I get like most attention on like Instagram and social media and stuff, where I get the most new followers is at shows. So I might be able to spin that like a little bit if I can get like some better like traction on Reddit, because that's the other place I'm going to market it, that and Instagram. But for now, I'm mostly trying to just get as much done for the book as I can, and like doing what I can to market it when I post illustrations for the book. Let's see if I can find... As I'll pull this over here. So what I'm looking for is good, like, downhill reference. So, like, this right here is sort of what I'm painting, right? You have the sprinklers. But if you don't know that this right here is the edge of a hill, it's kind of hard to tell. And that's sort of what I'm working with in this illustration for the foreground, is something like this, right? It's a little bit... Or a little bit further up. It'd be more like this, I would guess. If I can find any more real steep ledges. Not really seen them. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be like much of an option for me other than to like maybe extend this out a little bit. Maybe something else I should do, going back to the marketing thing, I'm not talking about the illustration now, is finding someone to pay to do some marketing for me. Because, yeah, once again, I'm not the best at marketing things, so it kind of makes sense for me to find somebody in my price range to help me market it. Yeah, I've been thinking about that. I'm gonna have to, like, anything paid, I'm gonna want to wait, I think, until, like, the month before I kickstart it. And I need to do some research to figure out the best place to run ads. The thing I most need to concern myself with is trying to build an emailing list, and I've been really like neglecting my mailing list just because I'm bad at it. I hate writing stuff, especially like emails. So that's definitely on my to-do list this weekend. I need to do like another like month and a half, 2 months worth of emails. And that's, I'm probably going to use some of my Inktober stuff for the emailing list. Just some stuff that doesn't really make it. Need to find some content that doesn't necessarily make it onto my Instagram or other places. Just so it feels a little bit more special being on the mailing list. And providing some like more useful info that's not just me like sharing my art like another place. I'm using a site called what is it? Dang, it's been that long since I've done it. I'll have to go to my emails. They usually send me some promotional stuff. Oh, ConvertKit, there we go. Let me log in, and I'll pull it over and just show you what the emailing list stuff looks like. Oh wow, I've actually got more subscribers. It's been a while since I checked. I probably should be showing the subscriber list, but yeah, so I'm doing pretty good. So I've got a few of them, but my content's getting a lot of opens. I just need to actually set up the email list a little bit better. But where's it at? Automate. Like, I don't use this site often enough. That's part of why. I'm so slow with this. So basically, I've just set up an automation with just an introduction set of emails. You be careful with so it doesn't pause it, but it basically just this website you pay them a little bit of money, and then it'll let you basically write a whole bunch of emails in a sequence. So we got like a welcome email, several of them just sort of like building up stuff. But yeah, it's basically just writing emails in this website, putting in hyperlinks and stuff. And the nice thing is that, yeah, I mostly direct people through my website, so opens up here. So I've got to sign up for the newsletter button. I'm thinking I should make that a little bit more noticeable, because I sort of designed it for like a page like this, right, where it's filling up the full window. But I need to set it up more for mobile, I think. And this button might get moved around, moved over to the top or something. And it's probably a good thing that I did, because I found out, like last time I looked, I only had 3 email list subscribers. Means I really need to get on the ball and write some more mail. Because I've done quite a bit, I think, since my last little email list thing, because I think the last time I touched it was back in like late August, right before my last show. Maybe what I need to do is to go up here. Yeah, I think I need to redo these trees. Oop. Trees, not the grass. There we go. Pretty much everything that isn't that tree. And that tree, I'm probably going to be redoing a lot of the leaves for that tree, so... Let's see how much editing I can do on this tree without having to repaint all the leaves. The leaves are a little bit, I don't know, probably not too big on that tree, but they're definitely too big on these lower down trees. They need to be somewhere between this and this for those other trees, like a new layer. Let's make this full dark green too, for all the foliage. But yeah, I need to learn more about it, just because going back to the emailing list stuff. Just because there's a lot you can do that I'm probably not doing. Like, about the only neat thing I found that actually worked out how to do properly is, like, to actually write the email so that it addresses the individual person. Which seems important to do if I'm trying to, like, connect with people and let them know what I'm working on and showing them my stuff. Yep. Back to the size, and I didn't save the size. A little bit bigger than that. Scotch bigger. Let's go 190-ish. Yeah, that feels more right for... Yeah, so if you're ever running like a project of your own, I think mailing lists are probably going to be the way to go to like actually have people follow it. Because as good as Instagram and stuff are, I think if you actually get something in like your email, you get more like notifications and stuff. Because there are probably a lot of people like me who just mute social media notifications because I get too many of them if I don't. But I'll usually get an email, and if I'm actually interested in something, I'll stay on the mailing list. Because like that's the way. It's not like spammy content, it's actually the stuff I want to see. Which is super nice. Websites are pretty easy to set up, but you do have to pay a little bit a month for them, at least for the one I'm using. Like Squarespace is really easy. You can just pick out a template you like, and from there it's just a matter of like uploading the images into the right template. There's a lot of like more sophisticated things you can do, but if you're just like looking for a portfolio website or someplace to show your art, it's really easy to set up. It's not till you like want to set up like stores and things like that that it gets a little bit more complicated. Also, I said I would advertise this since it's nice to put together a website to help me sell art. By help me, I mean they're trying to sell their own stuff, but when I sell stuff, I get a little credit for it. So that's mostly some of my older stuff, but whenever it loads, I'm selling like desk mat kind of things, so like computer, Landry computer, so it's like a mouse pad, sort of like big covering on the desk. So let's put that on the stream. Let's go to the actual site too. So some guy in, I can't remember, Norway or Sweden is selling these. But yeah, it's sort of, it goes into your computer there. Yeah, big ones. But I feel that's the extent of my that's going to be the extent of my due diligence for advertising, just because I have so many other things to advertise right now. And I only have so much energy to do it. But yeah, he sort of soft launched it. I think he's having a little bit of trouble like actually bringing an audience to the site. And I'm pretty sure there's just a ton of competition for stuff like that, so I'm not really expecting it to go anywhere, but it only took me like 15 or 20 minutes of my time to get everything set up there, so I figured it's an easy way to make some extra cash if it takes off, and if not, it wasn't a huge loss on my part to throw some art in there for him. And also, if you're interested, there are a couple like big art contests coming up. Like they're like juried things where you can get your art to books. I think Spectrum will probably be sometime in December, and Infected by Art already started, so we'll have that contest again. I think I did it way back in the spring when I found it. I got into the last book. No, it's just a general sort of sci-fi fantasy general art book. So you get a lot of like traditional media and stuff in there. You get everything from like little fairy vignettes to black and white drawings. You should probably be a little bit careful because there's probably some artistic nudity here, but go to the current competition. But yeah, it's just general sci-fi fantasy art. And that's about it. So I'll probably be entering a few pieces this year. But yeah, they'll have like more surreal sort of face stuff and black and white. Just cats and windows. With these contests, it's actually, I think, helpful to enter before you're ready. If you can afford to do it. I don't know if it's just because you get your stuff in front of like art directors and stuff, and I've been told like if they really like your stuff and they don't think you're ready, they'll still like contact you or give you some feedback. Because I was like submitting like years before I knew I'd get in, or years before I thought I'd get in. Just to start getting your name out there if you're interested in like freelance work or anything. And also, I didn't think my stuff was ready last year, and it still got in. Like, I don't know. That's one of the harder things about art, is I feel like you have to let other people like judge when you're ready for something, and not do it yourself. Because when you're doing it yourself, you might be like really wrong one way or the other. It's important to get that external sort of feedback. But yeah, like if you can't afford like the entry fees, totally don't do it then, because then it's not worthwhile. But if you can spend like a couple bucks just to get your artwork in front of somebody, it's probably worth it. That way when you are ready, you'll also know the application process and stuff, and it'll be a lot easier to do it. But also, like, don't do it if you're like super uncomfortable with it. Because to be honest, I've also seen art get into the book where I'm just like, surprised me that made it in, but that is something the judges saw in it that must have like really resonated with them. So art is so subjective, it's hard to know what'll get into the contests or not. I've also seen like artists that are better than me not make it into some of these bigger contests. If you do get in, I don't know. I guess the other thing I like about them is if you do make it in, it's an easy way to see your art in a book without having to go out and like hunt for clients or like make your own project to like get a book printed or anything. And it's always really cool seeing your stuff printed. So why am I not using these brushes? Made twig brushes. I should totally use them. There we go. I think we'll throw some sticks down behind these trees in the background here. Nope, that's not where I wanted it. I wanted another layer here. There we go, behind these trees here. And one above them. easier to mouse this one out. So we'll do that. There we go. Didn't add too much, but I kind of feel like it helps out a little bit. Like we need to like really get in there and look. And what else was there? Let's go back up here. Let's merge this down into one layer so it's easier to keep track of. That's just branches. I sort of want to stamp in some of these like dead flowers and stuff. Should be on a brush, not an eraser. That'd help out a bit. Nice. Oh, those are always a lot of fun. I'm gonna do a rocks brush. Little pebbles one that I've been using forever. Where are you at? Pebbles, Empire. There we go, pebbles. There we go. That's the layer I need to be painting on top of. So I'll hop up there. bit too bright. Check out your antique map later on too. So what was the map for? Was it just random place, or did you just... Also, I should probably at some point add chat into my YouTube videos, since I'm like recording these out on YouTube now too. Ah, nice. Sounds like fun. Get this readjusted a bit. That. I think the grass there was a little bit too thick. That does sound pretty fun. Sounds like a lot of like what I used to do for a lot of like my D&D games. Was I didn't actually like planet the world. I just like make maps. Just some like random NPCs, and then sort of like fill in the blanks when players encountered it. That's even fun when you're like, you can't come up with a serious name, but you can always just, you know, play it off as whatever creature is like a funny name. It means something completely different in their language. They get really offended if you laugh at it. You can see if the players can keep a straight face with a silly name or not. It's kind of fun. This layer and grab this brush. I need the right brush though. We need our hard ground brush with no transparency. Do. Let's go ahead some see if these work. These little orangey pools that are changing everything down to the ground over here. Let's make sure this isn't too bright and vibrant without this in there. It's probably a little over the top. Oh yeah, you too. I was probably going to wrap it up pretty soon here as well, so have a good one, and I will see you next time. Let's hop up to this layer. That's where all the orange stuff was. That's what that layer is. Let's just use their tall snowgrass brush, make it a little bit bigger. call it here in about 5 or 10 minutes. I should probably give this a second look tomorrow just to make sure I'm not messing anything up. This is starting to feel real busy. I think we need some of it there, but not as much as I put in. Let's go erase. Let's grab this Slick Rocks brush. Yeah, I think that's going to help sell the sense of scale. Yeah, so I've been working on this for like 4 or 5 hours today. It's probably going to be about time for me to wrap it up, actually. Didn't realize how far in we were. But yeah, I think I'll call it here for tonight. And since I'm inside, I'm probably going to be back on tomorrow about the same time. And I will be continuing to finish this up if I don't finish that up in the day before I start the stream. Otherwise, I'll be probably working on that birds one I pulled up earlier. But anyway, thanks for coming, and I will be back tomorrow night.